before we start any movement, you always want to get your heart rate up. And that's the first thing that we do before we even start our dynamic warm-up, is we start focusing on the heart rate. So the easy thing to do if you don't have a ton of equipment is to go ahead and knock out 25 jumping jacks. Jumping jacks are very simple, right? Start with your feet in and your hands in, all right? Feet wide, hands wide, just like that, bring it right back. You're looking to get 25 jumping jacks in. If you do have other equipment, you can vary it with a row machine for 3 minutes, a bike for 3 minutes, a treadmill for 3 minutes. You can jog back and forth 30 yards and back, 2 or 3 times. Bottom line is you just want to get your heart rate on. Now that the heart rate is moving, the next thing that you want to do is work on your dynamic warm-up, right? And we keep it very simple. We want to go slow to fast, easy to hard. And you'll get what I mean when I kind of go through the exercise. The first thing that you want to do is you find an open area. You're just looking for about 10 yards to where you can move north and south or east and west, just so you can have a little bit of real estate to move around and get warmed up. But the first thing we're going to do is something very easy, nice and slow, is a knee pull. Looking to take your knee, pull it up to your chest, take 3 steps, take it up to your chest. And if you don't have yards in front of you, you're looking to get about 3 each way, okay? Ideally, if you got 10 yards in front of you, you want to carry this drill on until you hit the 10-yard line. All right, once you hit 10 yards, the next thing that you want to do is something called quad pull to a Superman, all right? Grab your leg, reach on out, you're getting a great stretch on your quadricep, right? And you're also working on your balance points and getting a good stretch on your other hamstring as you're leaning forward, all right? Then once again, you take 3 steps, grab your other leg, reach out, you want to carry that 10 yards. All right, once you've made it back, the next thing that you want to do is something called a forward lunge with a trunk twist. Right here, you're going to take your leg, you're going to reach out, keeping the back knee about 3 inches above the ground. You're going to rotate each way, so you get a nice little stretch on your lower back as well in your hip area. Take 3 steps, other leg is in front now, rotate back and forth. Now you want to take that 10 yards. The next thing you want to do is a side lunge, right? So now you're going to place your hands on your hips. All right, face the side. You're gonna reach your front leg out. You're gonna lunge forward, lunge backwards. All right, so we're stretching both of these groin areas. Shuffle, shuffle, lunge forward, lunge back, shuffle, shuffle, taking that 10 yards as well. All right, so those were very slow movements. Now we're gonna speed them up just a little bit. All right, the next thing we're gonna work on is high knees, okay? A couple points of emphasis here. This is a great opportunity to work on your run form, all right? Big emphasis in the run form is a 90-degree bend in your elbow. Right, work with your arm, your hand shooting cheek to hip, 90 degrees, cheek to hip. Now looking for your arm to expand, all right? Now looking for your arm to go side to side, cheek to hip. Take your cell phone off out your pocket or off your hip, put it up to your ear, okay? The next thing you want to emphasize is knee drop. All these drills want you to pretend like you have glass at your hips and you're trying to break the glass with your knees. And the last part of it is trying to get a lot of reps. So even if I'm working 10 yards, I'm looking to get maybe 30 reps in 10 yards. So I'm not looking to go through these things fast. So a lot of reps, knees are up, cheek to hip, taking it 10 yards, okay? Once I made it there, the next thing I want to do is what we call butt kicks, okay? It's the same emphasis, and a lot of people make a mistake of kicking their legs back, so the drill ends up looking like this. That's not what we're looking for. We're going to drive the knee up, and still bring the heels to the butt like this. So it's high knee butt kicks, maybe a better way to say it, okay? Same thing up top, cheek to hip with your hands, arms at 90, right? We got high knee butt kicks, taking that 10 yards. Right, the next thing we want to do, speed comes from your hips, your gluteus, butt, and your hamstrings, okay? And so we want to make sure we always have those three things loose whenever we're getting ready to run. Next thing we got is our arms out. We call these mummy kicks, same arm, same leg. Keep your legs straight. So you want to bring the foot to hand, take 3 steps, other foot to hand, take 3 steps, foot to hand, same arm, same leg. The next thing we're going to do is what we call prom toms. Prom toms are very simple, but it takes a little coordination in order to get it done. You want to make sure your knees are locked, you're on the balls of your feet, arms at 90 degrees, all right? And all you're gonna do is kick your legs out while your knees are straight. Keep your arms at 90, going as fast as you can. Right? And you've done prom toms. The next thing we wanna do is get into our skip series. All right? Skip series are very important because this works on run technique as well, coordination, and so it's a good opportunity to pull everything together. What we have is lateral A skips. You're gonna face the side again, all right? And make sure your hips are aligned or parallel with the wall as your shoulders are. And you're gonna laterally skip, driving your knees, breaking the glass, cheek to hip with the hands. What you notice is at no time, if you freeze this video, am I ever crossed over. Meaning whenever I'm skipping, my back leg is never here, all right? So you wanna make sure you keep everything open on the lateral A skip. Once you make it 10 yards, you just bring it right back on the lateral A skip. All right, so you made it back on lateral A skip both ways. The next thing we're gonna do is a forward A skip. Same exact movement there, except you're moving forward, okay? Dropping the knees up, cheek to hip with the arms. Ready to go? A skips going 10 yards. Once you make it 10 yards, you're gonna move on. The next one is called B skips. All right, B skips is the same movement, except once your knee is up, you wanna extend, paw your leg out, all right? Make try to keep the toe pointed up, but you wanna extend that leg out. Not to be confused with a karate kick. All right, you just wanna drop your knee up and then extend out. Here we go, B skips. All right, so now you've done B skips. This movement is a little bit more difficult. If you cannot do it now, do it, try it, all right? If you mess it up, don't worry about it. Just give 10 yards of phenomenal effort on trying to get the C skips accomplished. The coordination will come. All right, but now C skips, I'm gonna slow down. It's nothing but an A skip, bring it back down, and bring the foot out to the side, and alternate legs. So forward, back down, to the side with the same leg. So this is what a C skip looks like. Good. Now, the next thing you want to do is take those same movements and we want to make them a little bit more explosive. So what we're going to do now is a power skip. Power skip is nothing but an A skip, but you're trying to get vertical. All right, you're looking to get about 6 reps here in 10 yards, but you're taking a step and it's just a powerful A skip for height. Power skip for height. All right, once you made it 6 yards there, now we want to do the same thing. Instead of going for height, we want to go for distance. So now we got a power skip for distance. It's just an A skip, you're trying to go far. Not to be confused with bounds. You're gonna leave off your left foot, land on your left foot, and switch to your right. Leave off your right foot, land on your right foot, okay? So let me show you how this will go. You get a little space to take off if you need. Awesome. So that's the skip series. Once again, a part of our daily warm-up. The last part is the movement series, okay? I'm gonna condense this down right here. This isn't the full 10 yards, all right? But I'm gonna go from this green line, all right? Let's say this is the goal line. Let's say that green line is the 5-yard line. Let's say that black line is the 10-yard line. The next thing is a shuffle series. So in the shuffle series, you'll put yourself in an athletic stance. If you don't get anything right here, get the athletic stance right. Super important to be a great athlete and a great football player. So the athletic stance, you wanna bend your hips, knees, ankles, chest up, all right? So if you got a Texas Wind shirt on, I should be able to see right across that shirt, Texas Wind. If you're doing a really good job, I should be able to see your number as well. Get athletic stance, you're gonna shuffle 5 yards. Touch with your right, and notice on my shuffle, I'm not crossing over, I'm not clicking my heels. I'm picking up and replacing. Shuffle back, touch, shuffle 10 yards. Touch, shuffle back. When I touch here, I'm gonna turn and sprint through the 5-yard line. Right? Cool, I shouldn't be breathing hard, I should be starting to sweat just a little bit. Once again, slow to fast, easy to hard. So the next part of the movement series is the karaoke series. On the karaoke series, you're gonna get an athletic stance. Shoulders are squares to the wall, but your hips are gonna be the things you really wanna emphasize and move. Trying to make those hips go 180 degrees both ways, okay? Now, the foot coordination, once again, is one of the things, if it's the first time you've done it, it takes a little time. If you mess it up, don't worry about it. Just focus on your shoulders being square, your hips rotating. You're looking for your hips to rotate 180 degrees. I'm gonna slow down the footwork for you real quick. Pick a foot. For me, I'm gonna pick my right foot, and I said right in front, right behind. Right in front, right behind. Right, once I get to 5, I don't have to be down, touch the line, and touch it with my feet. I'm gonna take it back. Left in front, left behind. Left in front, left behind. Left in front, left behind. Right, so I've done fast feet karaoke, 5 and back. I was bent, my feet were quick. Now I'm gonna do high knee karaoke, 10 and back. So now I'm a lot more vertical, relaxed, all right? And I'm gonna make sure my back leg does the high knee crossover part. So I'm bringing my back leg up and over. Really a lot of emphasis on my back leg, right foot in front, right foot behind. So get here, I bring it right back, left foot in front, left foot behind, driving it up and over. Once I get here, I turn and sprint through the 5-yard line. Woo! Starting to get out of breath. Good, right? The last thing I want to do is a sprint back pedal series. This is very simple. We're going to get in 2-point stance. We're going to sprint 5 yards. We're going to touch the line with both hands. Back pedal 5 yards. Touch the line with both hands. Sprint 10 yards. Touch the line with both hands. Back pedal 10 yards. Touch the line with both hands. And then sprint through the 5. If you're breathing hard, if you're a little sweaty, then you've done a great job. But now you're ready to go run, tackle, cover, catch footballs, throw footballs, whatever, right? Your body's ready for movement. This is how you should be after a warm-up, all right? Great job. So now you're warmed up. The first thing that we're gonna do today is we're gonna actually get on the line, all right? And we're gonna run 10-yard sprints, all right? And I wanna give you all the details before I kind of show you exactly what's gonna happen. You're gonna sprint 10 yards, okay? If you don't have a field to measure out 10 yards, basically there's 3 foot in a yard, so you can pull out tape measure, find 30 feet. You know, you can walk it out, you can guesstimate if it's 9 yards, 11 yards, no big deal. The bottom line is we really want to work on the acceleration phase, getting from 0 to fast, all right? And so the first thing we're gonna do is, well, let me finish here. You're gonna run 10-yard sprints. Between every set, you're gonna take 20 to 30 seconds to catch your breath, right? Our goal is to get faster here. You don't get faster by running 10 yards, hustling back to the line and running another 10 yards. Because by your 10th rep, you don't have energy anymore, right? And so you're not going fast, you're just completing the drill. We're not looking to complete the drill, we're looking to get faster here, right? So now, we understand the assignment there, 10-yard sprints with 20 to 30 second break between each rep. If you need a little bit more, that's fine too. Just make sure you're fully recovered before your next 10-yard sprint. All right, so now you're gonna find the starting line. Once you find the starting line, I'm gonna give you a little bit of leniency in how you wanna start the drill, okay? I'm not looking for any specific stance, right? If you're a running back, it might be ideal for you to start in a running back stance, or if you're an offensive lineman, it might be ideal for you to start in a lineman stance, right? If you don't know what you're gonna be, I would suggest you start in a sprinter stance, okay? And the sprinter stance is very simple. Your right foot up, your opposite arm is up, your toes are pointing forward, you're loading your front leg, meaning you're pushing a lot of your weight on your front leg, so your first step is forward, all right? And you wanna load that stance up, and ready, go. Boom, boom, boom. Move in. 10 yards through the line. I'm gonna take my time coming back, make sure I'm fully recovered. Good way to open the airways, hands above your head, getting fresh air to come through, all right? And I wanna take myself back to the line, and I wanna repeat that again. So now, run form. I mentioned it in the warm-up video, but you want 90 degrees, cheek to hip, all right? You want your knee driving, trying to break the glass, all right? You want that B-skip aspect to where you're reaching, trying to gain ground, all right? So you have a nice, beautiful run form. Now, at 10 yards, the most important part is the acceleration. So right here at the very beginning, it is encouraged as you're coming off the ball, looking to be fast, you can look down at the ground and slowly raise up like an airplane taking off, not like a helicopter popping straight up, right? So you wanna make sure that you're low and fast, okay? You have 10-yard sprints, let's go get it. 12 jumps, vertical jumps, okay? Vertical means going up. So all you're gonna do is make sure your feet are underneath your hips, not too tight, not too wide, either directly underneath your hips or under your armpits. You're gonna start with your hands up into the air, and my body is straight, meaning my hips are unlocked, not bent. My knees are unlocked, once again, not bent. And my ankles are unlocked, once again, not bent, okay? So I'm gonna start vertical, and then I'm gonna lock those joints real quick. What I mean by that is I'm gonna throw my hands back, and it's gonna bend my knees, my hips, my knees, and my ankles, and then I'm gonna jump up as high as I can, okay? And that's one rep, okay? So that was in slow motion to give you a full speed rep of one vertical jump, hands up high, feet placed well, Shoot your hands back, jump up as high as you can, land, get athletic position, and reload. All right, that's a full body jump. So I do want to recover it. Of course, you can come and jump 10 in a row, but your last jump is not going to be as high as your first. For this workout to be successful, you need to be able to jump 10 times in a row, and your 10th jump be as explosive as your first. Just like we want to play just as high quality football in the fourth quarter as we do in the first, we have to train our body to do so, okay? So you want to take a little time, come back to the line, execute your second jump. Easy enough? 10 vertical jumps, go get them.
All right, today we have 4 sets of 5 on the bench press. We're gonna have just the bar, but before we do any movement that's a core lift, we wanna make sure that we are properly warmed up. And so this is an easy little warm-up exercise to get you started. This is called a hand release push-up. What you're gonna see the student athlete do is lift his hands off the ground, all right, then drive back into the ground and push himself up like a regular push-up. Ready, go. Bring yourself all the way back down to the ground. Pull your hands off the ground and then repeat. All we're looking to do is get about 8 to 10 reps of these. And if you struggle doing a push-up, you can go ahead and keep one knee to the ground as you come up, or you can put 2 knees to the ground as you come up on the hand release push-up. Go ahead and put 2 knees down. Pull your hands up, drive off the ground. All right, so we have 4 sets of 5 on bench. And with this being our first time, I want to make sure I coach through all the details of getting a proper bench, okay? So right now you see the student athlete standing there next to the bench press, okay? Just really fast, I want to show you the components. You have the bench, actually itself, this is where you'll lay down. You have the rack, and you have the bar. If you notice, there's a ton of numbers, and depending on the weight room that you're at, they all look slightly different, but you can adjust the height. Typically, I put athletes around your age on 7, okay? All right, if you're a little bit smaller, you can bump it down to 6, which is hidden behind here. Or if you're really long arm, you can put it at 8, which is hidden behind there, all right? And then the bar will be at the proper distance from your body. But let's talk about the 5 points of pressure real quick. The first things are your feet. You wanna put your feet directly onto the ground, find a good space in front of the bench, okay? The next point of pressure is your butt. All right, so Luke is gonna sit down. Now he has both of his feet and his butt connected with the bench. That's 3 points of pressure. Then he's gonna lay down and his shoulder blades are gonna hit the bench. And it's just naturally, he laid all the way down and his back of the head hit the bench. So you have 5 points of pressure: the back of the head, the shoulder blades, the butt, and both of the feet, okay? Then the next thing, if you look at Luke right here, his eyes are almost directly in line with the bar. This is super important because a lot of people get onto the bench press, they stick their head way too far back, and when they go to start their lift, their chest is underneath the bar, and when they come up, they hit the bottom of the racks, okay? So typically, I always have that bench right where the eyes would be right underneath the bar, okay? Now, the next thing is hand placement. Real fast, let me show you the bar, okay? You'll see rigid parts, all right? And you'll see really smooth parts, and this is pretty standard on most benches, all right? Now, what you want to do is find a good hand relation for yourself. Most people, and I'm going to suggest this to all you that might be new to bench pressing, is the part where it meets rigid to smooth, all right there in the middle, okay? There's a smooth part, and on either side, most likely of your head, right around where your arms will be, you'll find the rigid part and the smooth part. I'm going to have Luke put his hands up, all right? And you see he wiped and found those parts. Now for Luke, that might be a little tight, all right? And so if you want to use your thumb to pinpoint the distance and that spreads the hand out just a little bit, all right, that is typically a really good spot for you to have your arms to make sure that you're using both your chest, all right, and your triceps, which are the 2 main parts that you're going to use during the bench press, all right? Now, the next important thing is knowing that you can lift 45 pounds, okay? If 45 pounds is too much for you, all right, I would highly suggest, all right, that you do a regression and you get back on the ground and you do push-ups so you can hold your weight and push yourself up and down, all right? But if you are confident and comfortable enough to do 45 pounds for 5 reps, get started. If there's any question that this might be difficult, please ask for a spotter. And all the spotter does is stand directly behind the bench. You see where Luke is there. and he helps Luke lift off the bench, hit his chest, come up, and helps Luke rack after the 5 reps are done. If at any point in time the student athlete finds themselves in trouble, the spotter will just pull the bar back onto the rack. All right, let's get after it. All right, so we're going to begin our set. 4 sets of 5 on the bench press. See the previous video or the previous clip explains exactly where your body needs to be, but on 4 sets of 5, we're looking for that bar that is right here on the chest. All right, right that midpoint of our chest. Fire that bar right back up. We want to go about 2 seconds down, 1 second up. All right, so take your time, have it under control on the way down, and then fire it up. Make sure we maintain control the whole time. Here we go, Luke. Show me 4 reps, or 5 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Safely put it in the rack position, and then relax. And then you'll repeat that 3 more sets. Right, the next thing we have is dumbbell bench press. We have 4 sets of 5, right? We actually want to use some weights. I know on the bench press for the next 3 weeks, we will not actually be pushing any weight minus the bar. And so I wanted to give you the opportunity to still get stronger here. All right, this is a lot safer with dumbbells on bench press, because if you do find yourself in trouble, you can take the dumbbells, push them away from your body, let them drop safely on the floor, and you will not harm yourself. All right, it's harder to do with the barbell. So what we're going to do is 4 sets of 5 on the bench press. You're going to see Luke raise the dumbbells up into the air. All right, and they start off above just like he's on the bench press. Okay, he has the dumbbells in a grip that is very similar to a bench. Right, the dumbbells go straight across. They're right over the top of his chest. He's going to bring them down under control. He's going to tap the outside part of his chest, right in line to where it would be if he was actually bench pressing, and he's going to fire them right back up. 4 sets of 5. Let me know if you have any questions. Right, the next thing we have is inverted row. We have 3 sets of 8 reps. All right, and this would be very new to most of you. As you see, we basically have the catches on 1, 2, or 3, depending on your arm length. All right, for Luke right here, we have it on 2. Basically, he's going to put his hand placement just where it would be exactly if he was on the bench press. If you have room to put your feet flat, so your heels are on the ground, that's great. If not, you want to put a slight bend on your knees. And all Luke is going to do is, rather than letting the bar drop on his chest, he's going to bring his chest to the bar. And the big thing is he's going to keep his spine straight to make sure it's one smooth motion. He taps his chest to the bar, brings himself down, comes right back up, and continues to knock out reps. All right, Luke, show me 4 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if this becomes very, very difficult for you, you can take your feet and scoot them closer into your body, just like that. All right, now that puts a little bit more weight distribution underneath your body to allow for you to push up a little bit easier. That's the regression for that. So if you have any questions, give me a shout. The next thing we have is push-ups, 3 sets of 8. As you can see, Luke is already prepared with his hands in the same space that it was on the dumbbell bench, the same place that it was on bench press, right? We want consistency in how we hold the bar in the same muscle group so you get stronger faster. All right, now he's on his toes, his spine is straight. He's going to push himself off the ground while maintaining that position, not letting his hips sag or let his butt fly up into the air. All right, he's going to push himself up 8 times. Luke, show me 4 good push-ups. You see, he comes up all together. Everything comes up in one fluid motion. He's under control. He's getting 90 degree bend in his arms, and he's going to full extension. The next thing we have is tricep dips. We have 3 sets of 8. And for the setup, you just take the same bench that you used for bench press, and you're going to take your hands, you're going to put the palms with your fingers facing forward on either side of your body on the bench. Luke is sitting flat with his heels in the ground. All right, and all he's going to do is push himself. Looking at his arms, he's going to go from 90 degrees, push himself vertical until he's all the way in the air with his arms straight, with his back close to the bench. And his butt is going to raise up off the ground, and then under control, he's going to come down, and that'll be 1 rep. He'll knock out 8 reps. Luke shows 4 tricep dips. Great job. If you have any questions, send me an email. For our core workout, we have 2 sets of 30 seconds of low plank hold. What you'll see is Luke is face down on the ground, Toes on the ground, bows on the ground, elbows on the ground, forearms and palms are flat. When he enters the plank position, rise up, Luke, his spine is flat. Very important here that you don't let your hips sag. Go ahead and show them sag. Or let your hips fly up into the air. All right, return back to the normal plank position. You want to hold this position for 30 seconds. Relax. If at 15 seconds or 20 seconds, you can't find yourself, you find yourself not being able to stay up, you can pause the time, catch your breath, and get back into it. We want to work our way up to being able to do planks for 1 minute. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, now we're at the cool down part of the workout, okay? This is super important. We want to make sure we maintain flexibility, especially in the hamstrings and in the quadriceps. That's where a lot of your run motion, explosive motions come from. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is put our feet together and touch our toes. All right, we're gonna go as far down as we can. You see, it's instructed for you to touch your toes. Luke is not exactly touching his toes, but this is a perfect exercise because what Luke is not doing is bending his knees. Now, Luke, I want you to go ahead and touch your toes. All right, you see what Luke had to do to touch his toes. Now, at this point in time, he's not getting a good stretch because he did break his knees in order to touch his toes. So we want to make sure we keep those legs straight. All right, the next thing we have is right over left. We want to bend down once again and touch our toes. It's super important right here because what this does is creates a hyperextension right there of this muscle. And so you get a super good stretch, not only on your hamstring, but on the upper part of the calf muscle. And we take that the other way after 10 seconds. We're left over right, and we're looking to execute the same thing. All right, you see the hyperextension there of Luke's right leg due to left bend over in front of the right. Relax. So the next thing we go to, spread them out. We want to go both hands down to your right. If you see, Luke is making contact with both of his hands over to his left leg. In the same premise here, he's not breaking his knee. All right, everything is straight, so he's getting a fantastic stretch on his hammy. Although we want the goal to be touching your toe right now, for most of us, it won't be there. The next thing he's gonna do is take it over to his left after 10 seconds. And we're gonna do the exact same thing. All right, and then thirdly, when we have our leg split, is we're gonna reach down between our legs. And you see Luke is doing a fantastic job of maintaining contact with the grass. You wanna reach back as far as you can while still maintaining contact with the grass. At some point in time, I love to see Luke's head touching that ground, his hands about 6 more inches back. That's just creating more flexibility in his hamstrings. Relax. Once again, we're doing all those for 10 seconds. Then lastly, we have quad pulls. All right, we're gonna reach up, grab our right quad, try to maintain our balance, and hold for 10 seconds. Relax, other way. The thing is, make sure you're getting a good tug there on the quad pulls, just like we're doing the warm up, in order to make sure that we're getting a good stretch on the quads. After that, relax. Great job today, guys. Once again, if you have any questions about anything you did today, give me a shout, send me an email, shoot me a text, give me a call.